And welcome back, everybody, to Casual Cactus and the charming friends that I have around my table today. They are the Glassbreakers Guild. We are short a few, unfortunately. As always, I am DM Keith. Hope you have your blunt objects and lock picks ready to go. We're ready to break some glass. As always, I have with me a majority of my lovely followers and my lovely friends here. We've got Braden.
Hello.
We've got Nate.
Hey.
Danny.
Hi.
Kyrie.
Hi.
Stephen and Nat.
Hello.
And we are unfortunately short Lance and Jordan and Seth, unfortunately, for the foreseeable future because of change. Seth, particularly, changes to his work schedule. We're going to miss you, buddy. Hope you're following along. Hope we do you proud. And anytime you've got a break on Tuesday nights, you know where you need to be, right? All right. Yeah, probably sleeping. Probably sleeping. All right. So, it's been a minute. But before we get into our recap from the last session, Stephen and Nat, how do you want to do this?
We have some news.
What?
There is going to be another little player soon. And so we wanted to announce that not only is Natalie pregnant, but we just found out the gender. So, we brought...
Without further ado.
You guys are pregnant?
Yup.
Hold top section with left hand. Hold bottom section with right hand.
Oh, I'm gonna just move this so out of the way.
What we're doing here.
Okay.
Confetti cannon, by the
So-
way.
We are having a...
Girl!
Oh, there is like... I am covered in confetti. You can't even see the board.
That was so much more than I thought it was going to be, and I love
That's
it.
awesome. That's
Good
awesome.
night.
Sorry for the
So,
best.
it's all right.
The ferrets will love it.
All right. The ferrets
And
will
just-
absolutely love
Except the
Just
deaf
as a
one.
note, Stephen was the one that insisted
Thank
that
you.
we do a blue confetti cannon.
So wait, you're having a
we
girl?
really are
Yeah.
having a girl.
Oh, okay.
Yes. Perfect.
So it's a
It's
girl
okay.
that will like blue
Guess
a lot.
what? Blue is like.
It's a girl color.
No, it is. It is.
Yes.
No, there's. I have to find this post. 'Cause
No.
It's like. It's like.
Oh no, my
it. Blue was originally girl.
Yeah.
Blue was originally girl. Pink was originally boy.
We're going with the original here. Yes.
So there you go. There you
Oh,
go.
you just wanted to pop blue confetti, didn't you?
Yes.
Yep.
I originally vetoed this.
And by the way, I hope we get a clip of the confetti cannons going off because that was pretty
Can we do that
pretty
from a
awesome. I don't know. Maybe. We'll see.
Probably.
We'll figure it out.
Oh, we
We'll
will
figure it out.
find a way to clip that.
That
And
was
slow-mo it. That would be
pretty dang
amazing.
awesome, guys. Pretty dang awesome. So
Congrats.
huge congratulations to Nat and
Congratulations.
Steven. We are so happy that they are adding to their little family.
Yes.
And we're
It's our
so
little family.
we are
Man, now I want to get
definitely
a tiny
looking forward-
hammer to break glass with.
We are
Yes.
we are definitely looking forward to welcoming Pebbles to the clan.
I feel like we should have a
Pebbles.
legitimate like
Well, sure.
Our last
D&D
name's
shower. and
Freestone,
Yes.
Pebbles.
Pebble.
Come
Yeah.
on,
Everybody
it's
needs
not
to
a
do
huge
Okay.
show.
ridiculous
Okay.
things for a D&D shower,
Yes.
and we can stream the shower.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know
Yeah,
the
let's do
weirdness
this.
that it is from
Let's
us.
do
This is
It's
gonna
not
happen.
Be anything practical.
Dibs on the hammer.
It'll be nothing
This is gonna
practical.
happen. This is
You
so
got
gonna
it.
happen.
Like it's yeah, that needs to
I
be
have to find a hammer.
So, we can now roll into our traditional recap of the last session. If anyone would like to, now's the time to volunteer. If not, we'll leave it to
And what did we
the
do
random
last time?
number
You realize I'm gonna have to like
generators.
every
Oh, I
time
remember
you
everything.
cast a spell,
So.
I'm gonna have to throw this stuff right.
All right.
Right. Yep. Yeah.
No.
Exactly.
Well, I would go with Nate, but he obviously doesn't know what happened last time because he just asked.
That was like
So,
3 weeks
Steven?
ago, so yeah.
It was like a minute ago.
Okay, so last week on Dragon Ball Z.
It's been more than a week, Stephen, but yeah.
Okay. So we have just arrived at Camp Vengeance, which was the relocated Camp Righteous after Camp Righteous was wiped out. So we approached cautiously and were graciously invited as guests under the hospitality of those of Camp Vengeance, specifically someone whose name I forgot, an NPC dwarf, who I think is the first in command, or second in command rather, of the camp. I don't think I wrote his name down.
Firebeard.
Ah, yes. Monsieur Firebeard. We were invited in. Immediately we were taken to the sick tent where a goodly portion of Camp Righteous was holed up due to various diseases and or wounds. We did our best as a party to sort of patch up and patch together those who were there, sort of trying to win our good graces so we could be worthy of staying the night to heal up and rest up. So upon doing so, we were then taken to the command tent, where we were told in no uncertain terms that we would be taking those who were sick and injured back to Port Nyanzaru, so that...
Voluntold, as it was.
Yes, exactly.
Voluntold.
Yeah.
Voluntold.
Indeed.
So we declined the gracious offer, to the dismay of the captain. We asked for time to consider the offer, as it were, the command that we were given. And so we packed up and we did our best to win over more of the camp followers, so that should it become necessary, we could leave, despite the orders of the captain. We then rested up. We then began our rest, rather, and were awakened to horns. We went up to the wall to see a number of goblins, one of which we'd encountered before, who had escaped death narrowly with a firebolt to the back, riding 3 triceratops, chasing down a patrol from the camp. We did our best to intercede and save those from this scouting party. We did so, though perhaps not to best effect, driving off or killing all of the goblins and leaving one triceratops alone on the battlefield. Pyre exited stage left and managed to convince those of the scouting party to help him drag back the triceratops towards the door, was licked by the triceratops, threw up, and we ended the game.
Another important note, Elias appears to be going crazy.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
We're not really
In
sure.
game.
In-game. I said Elias, not Braden.
Well,
And we don't really know what's going on at this point, but
No.
he does appear to be hallucinating.
Yes, he's definitely hallucinating. Can
Eat
confirm.
did I just eat something weird?
you should not have eaten anything where you would have picked up that disease.
No.
Yeah.
There is more gravy than of grave to you. Yes.
Wait, what?
Sorry. Yeah, it's.
A little late there for
But
the
it's
Christmas.
still Christmassy. Sorry.
Primacy?
Christmassy. It's Christmassy. It's
Christmas.
Yeah. It's from Christmas Carol.
All right. So I think that pretty much catches us up, with the possible exception of the fact that Lance's character, Gideon, is now contemplating leaving our good friend Elias behind.
Yep.
Which is interesting because Gideon is not here to make his case at the moment.
He kind of sort of is. He's in chat.
Okay.
Ding, 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 ding. All our phones start going off.
There you go. All right.
Dum-dum.
So, the night is still upon you. Pyre, you are approaching the gate, leading your Triceratops by its bridle. The gate is still closed.
Yep. And I assume my rope is still there.
Your rope is still there, but I'm pretty sure your Triceratops is not going to be able to climb the rope.
Down higher could climb it.
Good point. So what you want to do there, bud?
Actually, so... Oh, I don't have thumb I guess I'm just gonna yell. Open the gate!
You don't have to yell in real life, but.
Why not?
Hey.
Nothing.
For a long moment, nothing happens.
It's not like they're doing anything.
Really?
So those of you inside the gate having this very in-depth discussion about Elias's fate, hear Pyre's voice from over the wall, from outside the wall. When did he go over the wall? Open the gate!
Firebolt.
And then there's this flash of fire arcing over the gate, like a flare.
Open the
I'm
gate.
going to go and find a way to open the gate.
How do you folks normally do this?
You talking to the Triceratops?
No, to the company that I had them come with me to get the Triceratops.
Right. People would do.
The order to open the gate has to be given by one of the top 3 commanders.
I'm just going to find a way to
Great,
open
we
the gate.
totally get that from them.
Yes, the goblin.
It's a terrible idea.
So, wait, deaf or dumb,
Mute.
Oh, never mind. Okay. So I'm just gonna get up and wander towards the gate.
Okay?
I forgot about that.
My
Your mute daughter.
Are there any of the top 3 commanders nearby?
I'm gonna look for the
Roll
dwarf.
a perception check.
I want to look for the dwarf.
You roll a perception check as well.
I'm so sorry.
I start following a hallucination butterfly.
19.
Okay, we'll get back to that. 19,
21.
21. Okay.
I'm not on the wall. Well, no, I am on the wall.
So Meyer,
Gosh,
you actually find great Firebeard as he's sort of climbing down off the wall after the battle. He's starting to get the men organized to start, restart the watch and make sure everything is going okay, and the ones that are supposed to be off duty are being relieved and sent back to their tents to get more rest, or as much rest as they possibly can.
Okay.
You actually find Sister Sias, the head priestess who is in charge of the sick tents.
Okay, I'm gonna. How far away is she from where I am?
She's about. She's just coming out of the nearest medic tent
Okay.
to you guys. Apparently, that was sort of her. You get a sense that was her battle station. She was there just in case there were casualties to have to take care of.
Okay, so she's down on the ground floor.
Yeah, she's down on the ground floor.
Okay, since she's who I see, I'm gonna head down that way.
Okay.
I go over to meet him.
Alright.
Meet the dwarf and say, Commander,
Aye.
your men outside.
Aye.
We need to get them back in.
Aye.
Would you open the gate, please?
Aye.
That was easy.
Oh, right, Lance gave him a bunch to drink.
Yeah, he's a little.
He does sort of eyeball the entire group, and he starts walking towards the gate backwards, making sure that he knows where all of you are at any one time. He watches you as you cross the compound to meet Sister Sias, but he's confident that none of you are going to be leaving the compound.
That's already did.
We'll get to that. Meanwhile, your butterfly goes flitting all through the camp
Yay.
and passes into the wall of one latrine and out a different wall.
Don't go back to the latrines.
And then it sort of flutters over to you, lands on your nose, and transforms into a fairy dragon, which then disappears.
I'm gonna be following him because I saw.
You, of course, see none of that.
No.
Oh, the fairy
I'm
dragon.
just making sure that
I don't
so.
move. Because dragons can sense movement. They can't see you if you're not moving.
So he freezes over by the latrines.
I go over and touch his shoulder. Elias?
Okay.
Oh, dear.
What? That was for a swing. Yes.
Why are you just standing there?
There's a dragon.
He
A really
is,
small
he
one.
is, of course, facing the latrines, just so you know.
Yeah.
Dragons can't shoot you if you don't move. Speaking is
Okay.
another problem.
Okay.
We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
All right. We'll come back to you guys.
As I'm walking to Sister
Sias.
Sias, do I notice that Meyer has already talked to one of the three?
Roll a perception check.
18.
Yeah, you kind of hear the voices behind you as you're crossing the compound, so you know he's spoken with Firebeard.
Okay, then I turn back around.
Oh,
I
okay.
really want. Well, okay, I head towards the gate because I really, really desperately want to meet this Triceratops.
Okay. All right. All right, so you're starting to move towards the gate, and Firebeard, seeing you crossing his direction, kind of slows down a little bit.
Oh, I'm not planning on leaving. I just want to meet the dinosaur.
Hey. And he turns and he yells up, "All right, you lads, open the gate." And you guys inside see a couple of the guards up on the guardhouse reach down and pull levers, and you hear through the mechanisms sort of the rubbing of wood on wood, and you see this enormous bar that has fallen across the inside of the gates raise up out of its latches, and then a couple more guards down on the ground then grab the gates and slowly open them. You on the outside, you hear all of that, and then you see the gates start to open.
Just quick note, Firebeard was the dwarf.
Correct.
And then there's the commander who's over the whole camp who's human?
Yes.
Okay.
And his name was, I believe he was human. His name was Breakbone. All right, so the gate opens. Pyre is standing there, holding the reins of a Triceratops, with the scouting party of 6 soldiers. Make a perception check at disadvantage because puppy dog eyes for the Triceratops.
He's such a beautiful Triceratops.
Well, yeah, that's a 1. So,
Yeah.
No.
Triceratops. Eyes only for the Triceratops. All right. So, what you doing?
I'm just gonna go ahead and start walking.
Wait now. We got no room for that beastie in here.
Well, either way, we're leaving today. Tomorrow?
The morning.
Today. In a couple of hours.
In the morning.
Whether it's on our boats with your fellows or whether that's on our own way, so you won't have to worry about it.
We literally do not have the room for it.
They're not wrong.
I'm against
looking at
orders.
the map over
I
here
am
right now.
I am on orders not to leave until morning one way or the other.
Then what are you doing outside the encampment?
Saving your buddies and procuring a pack beast.
There's not enough Tej in all of Schultz. Get in here!
If you need more Tej, I'm sure not Valen.
I kind of.
Gideon.
Gideon.
Yeah.
I'm sure Gideon would be happy to share more.
He just sort of grumbles at you and motions the soldiers in.
Fire. Did you name it?
No.
Why?
I figure that our illustrious leader, Sploof, can do so
Luke is mute.
for now.
Rated. Thank you. There was a conversation between that.
That was a good one.
Yeah.
When you say that, I just like grab your hand and start like swinging it and look up at you with false adoration.
I love you, dude.
It's just so clear in my mind.
Elias, roll a perception check.
At disadvantage.
Doesn't matter. I'm just gonna make it up anyway.
Perception 21.
21.
Oh.
Okay.
That one didn't suck.
By this time, you've kind of come to the conclusion that you're seeing things.
Oh, what a surprise!
However, your hallucinations are so vivid and so real, you can't tell what's hallucination and what's not.
Okay.
The latrines jump up off their foundations on spindly, cartoonish legs and start dancing around you and Brightpaw.
Okay. If I close my eyes, are they still there?
No.
Oh.
Solution.
Solution. Solution.
Keith, what color is the dinosaur? What color is the dinosaur?
Yeah, Keith, what color's the dinosaur?
It's sort of mostly sort of a muted green and brown pattern. It's built for camouflage. Looks like there are a couple of stripes of really brilliant color on the horns, which seems a bit odd. And if you look behind the crest, like where it joins the head, you can actually start to see little tufts of feathers poking through.
Weird.
Fire. Can I name
Sure.
it? I'm gonna name it Swamp.
No.
Wow, you had 3 weeks to figure out a name, and you went with Swamp.
It looks like a really pretty swamp. Swamps are beautiful.
I wouldn't know. I have my eyes closed.
You're also not anywhere near her.
Right. I'd like to blindfold myself.
I'm gonna gesture back to one of the soldiers
Might
and
need
say,
a walking
"Could you
stick."
please give me a stake and a rope that I could tie this to?"
Okay. So the
Triceratops.
so the gates are closing and being locked behind you guys, and the soldier that you asked disappears and comes trotting back to you, very proud of himself, holding a length of rope in one hand and a slab of meat in the other, and hands them to you.
We'll make do. Thank you. I'm just gonna put the meat in front of the Triceratops' face. Yeah.
It,
I have no way of knowing that.
it sort of licks it and then sneezes on you.
I promptly throw up again.
Your mute daughter laughs.
I'm gonna very slowly approach the beast that I now call Swamp. and see if it'll let me pet it.
Make an animal handling check.
Don't screw this up. I brought this inside.
I just imagine it whipping its head if you staked it to the ground and the stake just going like through some guard's chest.
Not my problem.
9.
Ooh. Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh.
Okay. It's still. It doesn't seem super nervous, but it does seem like it's restless. Is the right word. It's in a place where the only thing that smells like what it's used to is your daughter. And so it sort of noses over to you and sticks its nose under the brim of your hat and lifts it up.
Uh-oh.
And then it licks you.
Fun.
I'm blind.
Didn't think you could smell worse.
You should bathe your daughter.
Don't worry, there's about 18 years you haven't been able to do that.
I guess I'm gonna grab my hat and pull it down real quick
Okay.
and just hope that nobody saw that. But I do like my new friend. My new friend makes me happy.
Okay.
Why did I say it that way? Makes me happy.
At this point, Bright, one of the acolytes from one of the medic tents, sort of seeing the two of you in this little tableau, walks over to you and very politely asks, "Can I be of assistance?"
No, we're perfectly fine. I try to say that towards him, but I'm facing like a different direction.
And seeing that, she turns her attention directly on you.
Just what I wanted.
Yes, everything's fine. I just kind of wave her off.
If you're certain,
Quite.
if
quite
if I can be if any of us can be of any assistance, do let us know. And she sort of gives Elias the side eye as she walks away into what you can only assume is her tent for the evening, for the rest of the evening. Meanwhile, back at the front gate.
I'm actually just headed back towards where we were camped out.
Okay, taking Swamp with you.
Yep.
I assume the gate's closed by now.
Yeah, the gate is closed by now. We were in the middle of our second watch, and I don't remember who that was. I think it was
Probably. I think.
the two.
It was me and Brightpaw.
It was the two of you, right?
Right.
I'm going back to bed.
I don't know.
I'm going
I
to
don't know about
bed.
this.
I'm going to bed. The
It's just
hallucinations
gonna be
can't get
me.
you to
That's
sleep.
fine.
I hope.
Sploof, this is your problem now.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Um,
We all wake up, the entire camp has been flattened.
what would
Sploof?
Sploof do with?
I'm gonna help you with Swamp. His name's Swamp. Is it a him?
Yes, tell us, is it?
Make a perception check.
I feel like that should have advantage. Ninja!
No one saw anything.
It is, in
Let
fact,
me go.
a girl.
It's a girl. Her name is Swamp.
We wouldn't have seen it if it wasn't on
Well,
camera.
hello. Fancy meeting you here.
I go to bed.
Yeah.
All right.
Sleep.
All right. So
Do know how mutes work.
how? So you still have your eyes closed, yes?
Well, I assume if I'm sleeping, then yes.
Well,
You're-
you weren't
Leading up into
in
Oh.
the camp.
Could
so
someone
are
lead
you-
me back to camp, please?
Yes.
Thank you.
I don't notice he's gone, so I was like, yeah,
Yes.
I'm asleep.
Okay. So the two of you are helping with Swamp. Okay, and everyone else is bedding down for the rest of the evening.
Can use this friend to take over the world.
One
Something like that.
one Triceratops versus the world.
Yep.
I'm comfortable with these odds.
More than we had an hour ago.
It's true.
True.
Meyer. In your dreams, you find yourself in a darkened room. It is pitch black. You can see nothing around you. You can feel the stone under your feet, but when you reach your arms out in all directions, including above you, there is nothing to be felt. There's no light of any kind to guide you. You simply start walking straight ahead with no knowledge at all of what's ahead of you, no fear of what's ahead of you,
Of
only
course not. I don't feel
only the driving need to go that way.
Okay.
You go forward, and as you do, the world seems to fade in around you as though enveloped in a deep, dense fog. You can see shapes, no colors, barely any light at all. But the shapes are moving and they're mostly at the edges of your vision.
Okay.
Until one looms directly ahead of you. It's a shape that is alien, foreign, but yet somehow familiar. And it is holding a source of light, a source of green light. You are drawn to that, and you reach your hand out, and your hand closes around the hilt of a rather primitive type of sword that in the normal world would be lined with bits of sharpened obsidian, sharpened volcanic glass to use as the cutting surface, but on this one, the glass is replaced by green flames emanating from deep grooves in the blade.
Ooh.
As your hand wraps around the sword, you feel a surge of energy through you, and you look up at the other form that is also holding this sword, and you recognize the face of Gideon, who's looking at you with bewilderment and no small amount of concern. The two of you feel the sword try to leave your hands, as though it's being compelled and pulled in another direction.
Mine.
You look that way and you see yet a third figure, misshapen, massively huge, and you get the sense that it is not working of its own free will, but is in fact being manipulated by another. And then you wake up.
You're dreaming about Gideon.
Did Gideon have clothes on?
Yes, he did.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Apparently it's going around. You can't.
Getting weird, Keith.
I'm just working with what they gave me.
Yep.
So is Gideon.
Sorry, Lance. Sorry.
Yep, that one does.
I'm gonna choke.
Don't do that. I'm fond of you.
Oh, thank you.
So, Sploof and Nix,
Yes.
I would like the two of you to decide how you want to do the animal handling check for Swamp. You can either each do your own check, or you can offer each other assistance and for advantage.
I have advantage in animal handling because I'm, a ranger. Would using primeval awareness be helpful here?
I mean, it wouldn't hurt. You already have advantage on that?
Mm-hmm. She's a ranger. Beastmaster ranger.
Oh, okay. So you already have advantage. So Sploof assisting you would not give you any more advantage.
Just do one on your own. See what happens.
I have a negative
Since I already
Negative one.
You can always roll a 20.
Cough, cough.
It's a 2.
So a 1.
Minus 1.
Okay.
What?
That would be a nat 20 for me.
Wow.
Is that because
We run the gamut.
Yes. No. There is no gamut. There are extremes. You are the two extremes.
We
So-
represent the ends of the gamut.
But it's important to still have Sploof because it's used to goblins.
Right. So Sploof,
its allegiance has changed?
you don't know the first thing at all about dealing with a Triceratops, but other goblins do it, so it can't be that hard. So you reach up to pet it, and your hand goes into its nostril and wraps around a dino booger and pulls it out.
Oh.
I'm gonna put this
Give me a second.
in Kyre's pillow.
Hurry, get this down.
I don't think he would take that very well. I know. But it would be so fun. He might kill you.
We all might.
He might actually kill you. But he's my best minion. But he might still kill you. I would get rid of that.
I thought you were about to say, I will help him kill you.
How many hit points do you have?
Not many.
Enough.
Fine.
Where does that land?
I'm in a tent.
I'm in the tent too.
So you fling it over your shoulder, and you hear, and you look behind you, and it's stuck to the wall of the fort, and just sort of oozing down the wall.
That's beautiful.
End of the wall to one of us.
No more dino boogers.
Oh, goodness.
Well, to be fair, that was not what I had intended to do. It just kind of happened.
Meanwhile, you've been caressing Swamp and having, building your rapport with the beast, and you're sort of taking off the harnesses and the tack that the goblins had put on, the saddles that they used to ride it, which is sort of this weird contraption that had 6 different seats on it. One right at the center, right behind the frill, where the driver could pull the reins, which were attached to the horns, and direct the dino where to go. And then the other 5 sort of arrayed, 2 on one side, 2 on the other, and 1 towards the back. It's this really weird contraption that shouldn't work but does. And so you're taking that off and sort of fixing up a spot for where Swamp can sort of spend the evening. You do see on its back, one of its back legs, there is a sort of crude manacle that is attached to the foot, and you remember hearing stories about the training of another really weird creature, an elephant, something like that. If they get them really young and tie them to a stake, they get used to not being able to pull out of it. And once they get older, they don't remember that they are stronger than the rope that is holding them. So you kind of get the sense that this trike has probably been in captivity since it was a hatchling, and is used to having a confined space, confined by nothing more than a rope around its ankle.
Awesome. I'm gonna try to find a stake.
Like an actual stake.
I got one.
You can give it to me.
All right. Sure. Roll me an investigation check.
That looked disappointing.
9.
9. You know there's got to be some around here somewhere, but you don't want to wander too far lest swamp start, overrunning the camp.
Can I tell what she's doing?
I'd probably tell you
So
what I
yes.
was doing. Looking for a
Oh.
stake.
I am not helpful.
No. That dino booger is just so pretty as it slides down the wall.
Oh, okay. It's time to stop.
Sploof, I do want to have you teach me some command words in Goblinish. Goblinish.
Goblin.
Is that
Did
what
I
the
hear them
language is?
using the command words? Would I know what they're trained for?
It's probably generic words.
I imagine
Oh.
like
Go, stop.
stop, sit,
Sit.
stay.
Sit, yes.
You do know that
Good
you
girl.
were able to influence them with fairly simple commands during the battle.
So like dog training commands.
Yeah, so you kind of you get a sense that it probably isn't anything too complex.
So I look at the Triceratops and I say in Goblin, roll over.
Excelsior!
Oh,
What a wonderful phrase!
oh, I hope
Roll
he
me
doesn't.
your animal handling check.
Thank Kevin for negative.
It's a 2!
Use inspiration if you have them.
No!
Because that
No!
it could roll
It
on
beat-
the tent.
It beats you with a 4, so it looks at you like you've lost your mind and does nothing.
Oh,
What did you just tell it to do?
Roll over.
Okay.
jump cut 5 feet away, us sleeping gently in our tent.
Might not be good idea when we're in a small confined space like this. But things like stop and go and stay and good girl. Well, she seems to already be staying.
Right.
Sit, Ita.
Roll me your animal handling check.
I'm gonna fire this dice for a minute. You're grounded. That's much better. That's a 17.
You see it sort of quiver for a second as it's trying to remember how this works, and then it folds up its back legs and sort of to the ground.
What was that?
Still with its front legs, just straight out in front of it,
Alright.
tongue lolling out.
We shan't be. I pet
I'm
it.
gonna draw this, I
guess.
swear.
On his tiny little goblin next to a big old Triceratops.
That's sitting down.
Sitting with its
Yeah.
tongue out.
Little waggy tail.
Foot.
So am I able
Yeah.
to learn basic commands?
It's going to take you more than just tonight.
Okay.
But with Sploof's assistance, probably over the course of the next week or so, you'll be able to pick up some of the basic commands. And more than that, it's also getting the trike used to a non-goblin voice giving the goblin commands.
Right. Cool.
We're gonna take this with us. It's gonna slow us down, but
We're gonna be slowing down anyway.
true.
All right. So the rest of the night passes.
And first light, everyone was told to get me it. Just before first light, everyone was told I needed it.
Back to maximum hit points.
Back to your maximum minus 15.
Yeah, we're at minus 15 at the moment.
Yeah.
11 and 2. Or no, I'm sorry, 11 and 12.
Real run of the mill there.
Yeah, very average. All right, so I assume, Nyx, you'll go and wake up Pyre
Yeah.
just before dawn. Okay, you poke your head in, and there's Pyre, sort of very, very neatly, very tidily in his bedroll, just sort of arms crossed across him. And then there's Elias, who is
Looks like I'm
sleeping
wearing like a
with a blindfold wrapped around his face, and he's sort of just sprawled everywhere.
Fire.
Yep.
Fire.
What fire?
Elias, go back to sleep.
Okay.
Yes, it's time. I'm
You
aware.
owe me. By the way.
Oh, you what?
You want a dino booger in your pillow?
What about a Whomping Willow?
Spoof had ideas. I told her not to.
Him.
Told him not to.
I'm not actually his daughter.
I'll deal with that later. Thank you.
He's not doing it. I'm just telling you, you owe me. Get up.
Outside, I with a 15 tell the Triceratops to speak.
I cast.
What hell kind of chicken is that?
I like this Triceratops. Swamp is my friend.
I hate this jungle so much.
On the inside of your eyelids, you see a chicken that's on fire,
They've gotten through.
crossed from one side to the other.
Uh-oh. That's not good.
I'm headed for the captain's tent.
Okay,
Command tent.
so you're heading for the command tent.
Do you need assistance?
Not
You're not awake.
All right, so there are 2 guards out front, as you would expect, guarding the commander, and they see you. Coming
Are
up.
any of these the ones from the scouting party?
No.
Okay.
No. So they see you coming, and they cross their pikes in front of you. Can I help you, sir?
Of course, your commander requested that I speak with him at first light.
And he sort of looks around. You're a bit early for that, sir.
Understandably, but considering the night's events, I think it prudent that we give him our answer quickly.
All right. I'm not sure that he's up, but I'll check. And he sort of gestures over to his companion and says, "You stay here," and he ducks into the tent. Anybody else doing anything while we're in the midst of this? Or I know Nyx, you're awake. Elias is sort of borderline, and Sploof is awake. She's playing with Swamp.
Yeah, I'm
What
waking
about
up.
the 2 of you?
I'm waking up.
You're waking up?
Yeah, I'll probably be waking up.
Okay.
I guess I'll go see the Triceratops for making the funny
Right.
noises.
Yes.
Satisfy my curiosity. Where were you sleeping last night?
I was probably just sleeping.
Yeah, who was that guy?
I was probably sleeping in the tree.
In the tree? Okay.
Wait, the tree.
What did you just say?
Nothing.
If I had an inspiration.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, instigator. All right,
Good
so
character.
so as you sort of stretch and sit up from your branch, there's another tabaxi in the tree with you. Except the branch is only weighed down by you.
Oh,
Wait, what?
wait.
It's contagious.
And
It's a hologram
He's-
tabaxi.
he's stunning. is the only word you can think of. He
See?
there is a literal glow around his lion mane, and he stares at you with the most intense feline eyes you've ever seen, and he just looks at you.
Come away with me.
It's like the Fabio of the cat world.
Well, I'm going to be speechless. And probably just sit and blink
There.
/ stare at him in surprise.
Make me a religion check.
Okay.
Just
Catch God.
Great.
better than
Wait, the
having
cat
both.
lord? This isn't who I think it is it?
14.
14. You were never the most devout cub growing up. But even you have heard stories about Cat Lord. That's him. Yeah, he's on the same branch as you. He's staring at you like he knows you. Which of course he does because he's a friggin' god.
The cat lord is the god of Tabaxi.
Yes.
Cool.
Yes.
What
Yes.
did you do?
What did you
Roosters
do?
come to nest, my friend.
What didn't you do?
Well, let's see. Okay, well, I'll ask him, how can I help you?
Oh, dear child. It is I who am going to help you. And
This is getting weird.
his lips never moved. That was all in your brain to brain. That was all telepathic.
I hate
Well, I
dogs.
mean, that's not...
Do you need another hour alone?
I mean...
Oh, that hurt. Oh.
Help me?
Well, yes, child. I'm here to help you find redemption and honor.
You killed Brady.
Yes, I might have. I might have, guys. I'm so sorry.
There... Okay, redemption from what?
Oh, I think you know.
From this curse?
Not that. Nothing so mundane as that.
You got big issues.
I have an ear falling off. That's not mundane.
Yes.
And honestly, as a tabaxi, you would know what he's talking
Yes,
about.
yes.
Being, why you were in Port Nyanzaru instead of with your
Yes,
family.
and
So yes.
Yes. There,
Okay.
there's redemption for that?
Child, there's redemption for anything if you are brave enough to attain it.
How would I go about attaining this?
You're on the right path. Just know if you need me, I'll be there. And then he sort of just, very Cheshire Cat-like, fades away, leaving only his eyes behind until they too fade out.
Great.
You got a god on your side. Lucky you.
Cat Jeebus loves you.
What would Cat Jesus do?
Oh my gosh.
He would knock everything off the edge of the world.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. If
Follow
the
the path and he just starts dangling a string along the path.
If the world were flat, then everything would be better.
So I'm also going to quietly take a little bit of sweet oil and put it on my tongue. in preparation for the spell.
Okay.
You better hope it works.
The guard comes back out. And he looks at you as though he's trying to decide how to phrase what he's about to say. And decides maybe that direct is the best approach. The Lord Commander will wish to see all of your companions, and not until after breakfast this morning. The events of the night have given him much to ponder.
Yes.
All right. I'll go ahead and nod and say simply, you were under orders, I do understand. However, it might be wise of your captain to take our counsel, especially considering the events of the night. If you would please just advise him that I will be waiting where we have camped as soon as he's ready, but sooner than breakfast might be advising him.
I will relay the message, sir.
Thank you.
So while we're waiting, can I do like a insight check to maybe find out a little bit more information what my dream would mean?
Insight is not really going to help you there. That's probably going to need more an Arcana check.
You have friends that can help
Okay.
you.
Inspiration. That was a 1.
Oh, good.
18.
That looks much better, yeah.
It's just too weird, man. It's just way too freaking weird to understand. And it gets worse when you look over at Gideon, and Gideon is staring back at you like he knows what dream you had last night.
We are connected.
At least you were wearing clothes.
He didn't ask if he was wearing clothes. He only
That's
asked
true.
if Gideon was.
Yes.
It is because I think it assumes that he was naked.
All right.
My dream, I could be naked if I want.
But was it your dream?
Sure I was.
It was your collective dream.
Yeah. I'm disturbed.
I mean, I am aware.
You doing Sploof? Are you doing anything besides trying to instigate the Triceratops?
Well, once people start kind of stirring up a little bit more, I'm gonna stop because I'm still supposed to be his mute daughter.
Okay. Elias.
I wish the blindfold still on, eyes closed, kind of gently. Do I remember where the fire is? So as to avoid it. Make me.
Roll me an intelligence check at disadvantage.
Okay, I'm gonna spend an inspiration.
Yeah.
15?
You don't remember where it is, but it's still kind of glowing a little bit after the night, so you can feel where it is.
Okay. I'll make sure I don't go anywhere near the fire.
Okay.
Meyer, are you there? Is anyone there?
Over here.
Oh, could you help me
Can
put up my
anybody
tent,
hear me?
gather my supplies? Cause I can't see.
I'm gonna go
Gideon's like,
over-
now he's gone blind.
I'm gonna go.
Have
As
a
a
blindfold
good guy-
on, you
no.
idiot.
As a good guy, I'm practicing here. Yes, I will help.
Thank you.
And I want to
I
like find a stick so he can like. walk
Okay,
around like a
make
man.
me an investigation check.
I have my maul.
Asking, did anyone figure out what's wrong with Elias?
Gideon assumed
17.
Did a medicine check and
Yeah,
Right.
Gideon,
The
Gideon made the
conditions
right.
mad monkey disease. So
17.
But
17? Yeah, you found one.
can you tell?
I don't think so.
I mean, Tyrion probably figured out.
real quick.
Yeah.
Elias, here is a stick so you can
Thank you.
so you know when things are coming up in front of you.
Okay, thank you. That will be very useful.
What are you doing?
I am blind. I'm wearing a blindfold. Is it not obvious?
No, I can see that. Why?
Cause I'm hallucinating.
Oh,
I'm gonna start making breakfast.
Elias, what are you hallucinating exactly?
I recount all that has occurred from the 100-foot crocodile to the fairy dragon to the phasing through walls cheetah to the water walking undead T-Rex.
And the toilets.
So it's at the last one that the rest of you realize that Sister Sias has been walking by and stopped right behind him as he's recounting,
It's not like I know.
like he's recounting what he's been seeing over the last couple of days.
I sneak around him and like poke him really hard in the back and then run back around so that it looks. He thinks that it's Sister. Sias. Yeah.
Sias.
Okay.
Cyas.
Ah.
I'm not gonna write it.
Uh,
I feel a poke, right? So
You
I
feel the poke.
turn around and was like, who is it?
That's a good firm one. And a scuttleback.
At least you did.
Hello?
So you seem to be suffering from a mad monkey disease there, my friend.
It was a shum show. Who's this?
No phone. Who cares?
Sister Sias.
Oh.
Um,
I don't think I only saw her. Correct. I haven't spoken with her because I didn't go into medicine.
Correct.
tent. Okay.
Correct. So you've seen her, and you've heard her speak
Right.
in the command tent.
Okay.
Let's take a look at you, and she crosses the distance between the two of you, and you feel her hands on the side of your head as she probes you with her abilities.
Okay.
God, okay. You guys have got such dirty minds.
You're the one saying it.
I know, but still, you don't have to take it that way. So she sort of does an examination of you. How long have you been symptomatic?
How long have I been symptomatic? It's like
Yeah.
How long have you had symptoms?
Yeah. How?
it's been about a day and a half.
It's more like you're entering your third day, so more
Okay.
like 2 full days.
2 full. It started about a day ago. I started seeing it, but I don't know exactly what happened.
Well, the good news is, you seem to maybe have a light case and possibly be coming out of it. The bad,
You sound.
the bad news is I've seen it turn on a dime and get much worse. Very rapidly.
Is there anything that can be done?
If I was at my full strength, I could cleanse this from your system very easily. Unfortunately, I'm somewhat ragged at the moment and cannot offer that level of care for
I
you.
Need to heal you?
Only time at this point. He needs a day, is what he needs. He needs a day
I
of.
think we have a day.
Day of travel.
You want to take someone who could get worse with us on a boat.
We could tie him up.
Oh, we could.
I just see things, guys. I can still hear you.
This
We know.
blindfold does not.
This blindfold does
I
not
hear it.
stop hearing.
Elias, you understand our situation then. If you could get worse, you might endanger our very important mission.
Would you be willing to be tied up? Just in case.
Yes. You will never know what that role means.
I personally don't think we can risk it.
I mean, Elias, if we tie you up and you get worse, we could just leave you to die in the woods.
Or we could leave him here where he doesn't have to die.
But he might die anyway. Well, he's going to die anyway because he has a death curse.
Not if we can fix it. That's what we're doing. That's why we're here. If he comes with us, he could slow us down. What I'm saying, and I hope you understand, and I'm going to gesture even though you can't see me. What I
Gotcha.
hope you understand is that you are at this point a liability. It is unfortunate. We could use your help. We could use the help of any we could get. But I don't think we can risk it.
He could be bait.
Jump cut.
Daughter.
Jump cut 3 days later. I'm in an open field. Hello, where'd you guys go? As like T-Rexes are bearing down on me, and you guys are just like booking it.
Okay, time to be a hero here. No, we do not leave our teammates behind.
Well, I mean, if we tie you up and you get better, there's a chance you could still come and help with us. Or you could stay here and maybe still get better or get worse. And you could get worse if you come with us. You'll probably die either way.
You're not
But-
wrong.
Some options are limited.
Elias,
No.
would you prefer that you take a chance with us, we leave you tied up for a day and then feed you to the wolves or something if you don't get better? Or
That escalated quickly.
Feed you to the Triceratops.
or we could leave you here and there's a better chance that you could get better.
And you'll have perhaps more time.
Tough
If you take
choice,
him with us,
man.
he is a liability, and he stands less of a chance of surviving than if we leave him.
No, all we gotta do is point him in the right way and say, hey, go attack. You'll be good.
Blindfolded.
What?
Earth, do you think that would work?
The hat looks at you judgmentally.
For your own good, I think it best if we leave you here. In the care of these good people, should they be willing to keep you.
If he gets in trouble, we can pin him in the dimensional space.
That stays put and lasts for an hour, after which he falls from the dimensional space and gets eaten by said wolves.
Well, we can solve whatever problem within an hour. I hope.
Yeah. So Lance,
Gideon.
says we could leave him with Hadrian and the core. If he gets better, they catch up. If he gets better, they catch up. Or after a day, they leave him. I don't know that that's a poor choice, other than we're splitting the party, but given our options.
The hat swings your hand and nods.
Guys, would you just let go?
Look of adoration.
I agree that I should probably stay behind if it'll slow down the party.
I do apologize. I do know how important this is to you and to us. However, I think it's probably wise.
Should
No, you're
we,
fine.
maybe we should do like an official vote.
Yeah.
Brian finally comes down from her tree. After
I don't know. Can you walk
Forgot you weren't with us for a minute.
yeah.
Oh.
And she just, yeah. She needed a minute to process things.
You know, you did just have a
Okay.
Jesus experience.
Yeah, I did. I did come to Jesus meeting.
Yep.
Is that what they call it? No.
Come to Cat meeting.
And there's Nate again.
You were trying to be.
I was
good.
trying to be
Trying
good.
so
but-
hard. It was like I could see the smoke
No, no.
billowing out of
So
his
This is
ears.
out of character.
In the end, it doesn't even matter.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Um,
go right ahead.
but yeah, so I'm gonna ask what's happening? What are we?
Elias has contracted mad monkey fever.
Yes, he's been seeing things.
We're leaving him here.
He wants to leave him. I want to bring him along.
And we're leaving him here. He's a liability.
I think we should vote on it.
I won't know the outcome, so.
Well, I think that
I got you covered.
I think you'd be allowed to vote on this.
He just can't see. That's what he's saying.
Well, yes, but we can tell him.
Yes, we will
Yeah.
tell him the outcome.
By all means, vote. You know my thoughts.
All in favor of bringing him with us?
We are literally half and half if I'm assuming Lance is going to vote the other way.
I don't know what.
He's typing.
Gideon? If I leave him?
He votes that he stay. Yeah.
So it's tied.
Well, we also have two others that aren't here.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, Azaka.
Oh. Oh no. Azaka is the final vote.
Could be
huh?
dear.
well, she could be like a tiebreaker, but
I mean, she's the only other person we have that's here.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
but
yeah.
she may eat me.
what do you vote
Yeah,
for?
see, that's why I want
I'm not
you to
voting.
so I can eat
This
you.
is between the group.
Just because it's
I'm allowing the
entertaining for
group
me.
to figure it out.
Where is Azaka?
This guy.
Okay.
Yeah, see?
She's actually been sort of quietly watching the whole thing. Her arms crossed across her chest. I've seen mad monkey disease go both ways. It's hard to tell what it's going to do. The sister there says one day. I figure we're one day away from camp. If he gets worse, we send him back here. It's not that far.
On his own to get worse.
Well,
he
no.
already could walk off the parapet, not
No.
seeing things.
I will bring him back. I'll leave you guys on the right path, and I'll catch up with you, if it comes to that. If you want my opinion, and I'm not part of this group, but if you want my opinion, you never split the party.
The golden rule.
The company set off on an adventure. It'd be a shame for any of you to miss it.
Gideon says he agrees, and I do as well. Shut up.
Okay.
You have a fair point, Azaka. Thank you.
Good. Now let's get out of here, or
Well-
attempt to get out of
We can't
here.
leave yet.
Yeah.
Congratulations,
I
Elias.
do have to warn you all. It
Does-
gets harder from here.
So why would we want you to?
We're venturing into the unknown from this point None of the fancy maps that you have access to have anything on them beyond this point. I know of a couple of waypoints along the way. I suppose you'd call her a contact who is wise and might be able to help you find Omu. And if we're extremely both unlucky and lucky,
That sounds about right.
should your mad monkey disease persist, I'm almost certain that she would have some way to cleanse you of it. So there is that as well. She is many days down the road, however. We can hope that you
Survive.
Mad monkey disease is rarely fatal. It's an inconvenience.
I got you covered.
We can hope that you heal yourself before then. Meanwhile, I know the road. I know the path we should take. There is a lamp post, let's say, along the path that we must pass by. Mbala. It's a high plateau.
I think that would be a good choice regardless, yes.
It will certainly give us
Wasn't there
quite the view over the Aldani Basin.
Wasn't there like an oracle we were supposed to go see?
Yep. The wise guardian of Urulanga, east of Mbala.
Yes, that is of whom I speak.
We've, oh, you weren't there. We've heard tell of the oracle.
She is wise.
Yeah. I feel like we definitely picked the right guide.
Well, it is several hours yet until we can get on our way. I suggest we begin tidying our encampment.
Yes.
Are we bringing that thing with us? And she points to
The
to the
Triceratops.
Triceratops,
Its name is Swamp.
Does the
if you insist.
Does the river go by Mbala?
It does not.
So it would be a good idea to take a pack animal at this point.
Well, that depends. If we do that, we leave the canoes here, and we travel on foot the rest of the way.
Could
I do know that the path to Mbala, we still have 3 or 4 days on the river before we reach it. It will be very nearly twice that on foot.
So a week to Mbala.
That's to the path to Mbala.
Oh, okay.
would the Triceratops be strong enough to carry 3 canoes?
And then provisions on top of it.
Well, we could carry them.
Plus barrels of water for our water collecting supplies. That's a lot for
It's a
an
lot,
animal to
but I'm
carry.
just curious about its capacity.
It's going to have about a 500-pound capacity. You could carry the canoes, or you could carry the provisions, but not both.
I mean, we might be able to split the provisions between all of us. Because that's kind of what we were planning on doing anyway.
I
It'll
mean,
be a tough sell.
I can
Yeah.
carry a lot
I can't
of
carry
stuff.
that much.
I just have a lot of stuff on me at the moment, so
I mean, I'm the size
I
of a
can't-
toddler, so.
I can't carry it.
Also, but
I mean,
You do have a spider. You have a pack mule.
I've been
spider.
carrying
Yeah.
I've been carrying the tent I use, which is like 20 pounds.
And I myself
Silk rope
carry a
5
fair amount.
pounds. So, yeah.
I'm arguably carrying less than most of you, so if I need to carry a little bit, I can. Just sort of depends on what we got going on.
I can carry about 80 pounds before I'm encumbered,
And
and 160 before
I'm already
I
encumbered. Well,
I'm super slow. So
Yeah, I'm
Something
close
else
to
that
it.
might be of consideration is that we offer the canoes here as a bargaining chip to help us leave peacefully.
true.
But still, faster.
Well, do we? So we know
Travel.
who we want to go.
So the problem is do we want to take more time, leave the canoes here? Because it's either leave the canoes and take the dinosaur, or leave the dinosaur, take the canoes, and then spend the time to walk to Mbala, and then back to the canoes.
And not necessarily back to the canoes even. At that point, when we don't have a destination in mind, we don't know if we're going to be able to get there.
Can we
By water.
carry all of the provisions on ourselves? Because I know for the most part we've been using Goodberry at this point,
And I think that probably is wise moving forward.
but
Although-
and like you said, a likelihood of dying. So if you die, we are going to need those rations. So it's all a matter of dinosaur or canoes.
I just like that sentence. It's all a matter of
Dinosaur
dinosaur.
or canoes.
Yep. That's
Things
what
you
we're.
don't hear every day.
No.
We have a time consideration, of
Yes, we
course.
do have a time
Is
consideration.
one more efficient than the other time-wise?
Canoes.
The canoes will get us
It's
to
going
the.
twice as
Go.
fast.
The canoes will get us to the Mbala
Faster.
path faster, but we would have to leave the canoes, hope they don't get destroyed, taken, or anything like
Yeah.
that,
But
and then go to Mbala and then come back to the canoes. Versus taking the dinosaur with us, spending twice the amount of time just to get to the path, and then however much time to get to Mbala, and then continue with the dinosaur.
I'm kind of thinking because so we've not been on this trip for too terribly long, and we've already come across.
We've only been going for about a week.
We've already come across a bajillion T-Rex that tried to eat us and throw zombies up on us.
Yeah.
We've
Yeah.
come across other dinosaurs that they were chasing away, and we've had a herd of Triceratops that came to us via goblin attack.
Mhm.
So I kind of feel like this will not be our only opportunity to tame a dinosaur to do our bidding.
You're not wrong.
So
You're not wrong.
I feel like maybe if the boats are going to be faster, we start with the boats, and maybe then we can abscond with another goblin's Triceratops sometime. That's my thought.
No, it's perfectly valid. The problem is where are you willing to give up the dinosaur?
Well, I'm only
We
one
can come
member
back
of the
and
party.
visit.
Nyx would be very sad, but she's also still got sunshine, so
So we at least have the dinosaur as a bargaining
We
chip.
should leave it behind.
We have
Yeah.
the dinosaur as the bargaining chip, because the dinosaur can be
Yeah,
used as
they
a
don't
pack
have room for
animal depending on if they decide to abandon Camp Vengeance and try and head back. Or, and I mean this in the kindest way to the two small ones, they could kill it and eat it for food. But we can use the dinosaur as a bargaining chip.
assuming they want it. I don't know.
Gideon, what do you think?
Gideon? Well, that was fast, Gideon.
I say we keep the canoes. Okay, thank you,
Okay.
Gideon,
Yeah.
for your opinion.
That's my vote. Bright's vote
Alright.
is keep the canoes.
I see.
Is it about
the
time we
logic
talk to
Lord
the
Commander.
commander?
Right? Give me a perception check real quick.
13?
13. Okay. Through the gap in the gate as it opens and closes for the changing of the scouting parties, you see your party's canoes down by the river. On the bow of one of them, standing on one foot right at the very peak, you see the Cat Lord. And he looks at you and he smiles and he nods and he disappears.
Okay. I feel like we should really take the canoes, you guys. I have a good feeling about this.
I agree.
and the canoes. That's all.
Is it about time to talk to the commander?
It is. In fact, you see him at this point.
I don't see anything.
Well, you don't see anything, but the rest of you see him exiting the command tent, addressing the guards, and then starting to head your way.
Really quickly, can we say tentatively that I speak for the party?
I just swing your hand back and forth and
Thank
nod.
Put a little bit of sweet oil again on my tongue in preparation for the spell.
Okay.
Fine, but I get the next one.
Oh god. We're all gonna die. Okay.
I'm trying. No, wait.
All right.
That's what's the sound.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Give a little bow.
I curtsy really awkwardly.
It has reached me that your company was of great assistance last night during the incursion. And at that point, he looks behind you and he sees the Triceratops, and he just kind of shakes his head, and his attention is drawn back to the rest of you. On behalf of my troops, I wish to thank you for your assistance. His two captains are kind of gliding up quietly behind him. He looks over at them.
My grip tightens on your hand a little.
What's going on?
It has also come to my attention that I may have been somewhat brash when we met yesterday. You have my apologies for that. I'm in a stressful situation, as I'm sure you understand. That being said, I do still have several sick individuals under my command who are not going to get well here. They need some way to be evacuated to Port Nyanzaru. And I understand you have your own journey ahead of you and that you are not going that direction. I am willing to let you go on your way if I can have that to transport my men to the coast.
Triceratops?
Yeah, he's pointing right.
Yes,
He's pointing right at.
Oh yes, the golden bargaining ship work.
Hey, problem solved.
You don't.
Your lordship, may I have a moment with you?
Don't.
I'm sure your friends and my officers can hear your
Don't push it.
can hear whatever it is you have to say.
All right, here we go.
You don't need to use the spell.
God, what's happening? This is exactly what we wanted.
In speaking with your commanders last night, we were under the impression that it is not simply those that could be transported merely by the means of a boat, or two even, or this dinosaur here. I fear, though I don't necessarily understand the full scope or nature of your mission here, but I do fear that unless you receive reinforcements, you get help, you get healthy, that your mission may be a failure. It is my impression that should you, and this is where the spell's going to go up, return to Port Nyanzaru to regain your strength, that your mission may fail.
Okay.
Ooh, sly fox.
All right.
What spell is this? This is a...
Suggestion.
Oh.
Okay, so for my spellcasters, roll me an Arcana check.
Oh, good.
Versus, I'm assuming your sleight of, well, it's not really sleight of hand.
Ooh.
Sleight of mouth.
Silver tongue.
Yes.
We'll call it persuasion on your part versus your persuasion.
Can I use persuasion or?
Can I do it
It's
just
gonna be
because
an
I can?
Arcana
Can
check.
I?
Okay.
Can I do it just because
Well-
I can only hear things?
What are the components for suggestion?
So verbal and the oil.
And
So
well,
verbal and material.
And
You know
Gideon
what?
got a 15.
I'll give it to you because you'll be able to smell the oil and you can hear the words.
Okay.
So go for it.
Come on.
Not bad.
What am I rolling?
Arcana.
Oh.
So
Okay, so
14.
what's your persuasion check?
18.
18. That's the DC to hit.
19.
You made it.
13.
You missed.
19.
You made it.
17.
You missed.
14.
And you missed.
Lance got a 15.
Lance got a 15. So, Nyx and Sploof, you guys recognize the spell going off. Now, as to the spell itself, is there a save?
There is. It is a wisdom save, and he rolled an 11.
Okay. He rolled an 11. And I'm trying to remember. Give me 1 second here, because I've got to make sure I know what he is before I
So is that
figure out.
one person or is it an area effect?
It's one person.
One person. There is a higher spell called Mass Suggestion where you can do multiple people. Yeah.
And that would be awesome when I get there.
That's like level 8.
I know.
That's like
And
I think that's a level 4 spell.
If we live that long.
4th level spell.
Okay. And it's wisdom, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
No, it's a.
So what's the
It's a-
DC to hit?
He's got to beat a 14.
He does not.
I got scared there because he's paladin. Wisdom's like no charisma is
Charisma.
charisma. That's right.
He's not a paladin.
Oh, I thought he was.
He's not a paladin. He's
I
a
misread
noble.
that too.
He's just a noble.
He's a noble.
Oh.
I never said he was a paladin. You guys assumed.
Yeah. True.
All right. So he does not make the save. I assume the suggestion was return to Port Nyanzaru.
Yeah. With your.
That was not what you said.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You said return to Port Nyanzaru to regain your strength.
Oh, oh no.
But and
He
then,
spins on his heel
Oh God.
and he walks to the gate and out the gate and it turns left and heads upriver.
well, okay. So the spell itself specifically says though it must be worded in such a manner to make it sound reasonable.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know
You
if that
said
would be reasonable for him.
you made it perfectly reasonable for him
Now,
to
just as a
take
side
himself back to Port
Now, just as a
Nyanzaru.
side note, would he feel comfortable walking there himself as a noble?
As a noble, he's
Alone.
probably got a pretty high opinion of himself.
Sir,
Sir.
And he's out the gate.
Now I did think that he had
What
mentioned
happened?
like the whole gang, but I
Yeah.
could be remembering that wrong.
Oh, did he?
I think he
I
did
think
with
Did he?
his.
I think he
Yeah,
did.
I'm pretty sure he did.
I don't-
With his,
I don't think he did. I was
I don't-
listening very carefully.
Yeah, I
Okay.
think you should
No.
go back to. He said you should go back to Port
Nyanzaru.
and regain your strength. You didn't.
He did not say
You
anything
may have
about.
implied.
You may have implied it.
When you
did
you
not
probably
say it.
imply you were trying to imply that you should take the rest, but you didn't say it. So, what's going on? What just happened?
So,
So the captains are looking at each other in alarm, and
We're also-
Firebeard starts like running back towards the back of the encampment and yelling at the top of its lungs. Pack up, move, everyone, strike camp. We're moving out.
Oh, I'm gonna grab whoever's the closest soldier. Quickly, we need you. Tell him the commands. They need to take the dinosaur with them. Quickly.
Will you help me get my stuff?
yes, I got you.
I'm gonna
Put
run
it
over
on.
to
Grab all of my stuff
the dwarf dude.
and
Firebeard. So he's busy giving orders about you there. Get those tents down. right now. You, help with the medical hey, and he's not pointing at you, he's pointing at somebody behind you. Help with the medical tent. Sister, do you need anything? We've got it.
Mr. Firebeard.
And again, it's like the whole camp has just been.
So are we
up in-
leaving? I assume.
Mr. Firebeard.
Hi.
Hi. The dinosaur, you're gonna need to know the command words. They're in Goblin.
Well, how did you learn them?
From my Goblin friend a long time ago.
Oh, well, that's very lucky for you. Can you write them down for me? I'm kind of busy here.
You go back to Spoof. I need you to write I need you to write the commands out.
Right? Can you write?
He's very intelligent.
Oh yes,
Yeah,
I'm very
Yeah,
intelligent.
yeah. I mean, he's a wizard.
I have no wisdom at all, but I'm very intelligent.
Okay, I'm gonna slyly I'm gonna find. Can I find some parchment and materials?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not even gonna make you roll for that one
Okay.
because the camp is in turmoil. You can see pieces of paper flying everywhere. So yeah,
Basically,
you
what I'm gonna do is just kind of stand next to Sploof and just make it look like it's a coincidence, but I'm gonna have him tell me the command words in Goblin and. Write
so
them
it's
down.
just a lot of basic stuff. Go, stop, left, right, sit, roll over. Oh wait, you don't need roll over, but maybe that'll be fun.
But
So
I
put it back
need
down
to
to you.
anyway.
I include
Because
good
that's
girl.
Sploof.
Yeah, good girl.
Good girl.
Good girl.
Will you lead me to the canoes so I'm ready to go?
Yes, I got you.
Okay. We start heading towards the
Maybe I
canoe.
should tie a rope on you. Okay.
I have a lot
I
of
mean-
ropes.
I have a lot of rope.
They did that to me last time I was being sploofed,
Oh, I
so
gotta
I
do
feel like that's.
Oh yeah, you do.
Yeah, because you brought me the rope and the stick.
Yeah, that's true. You do have a rope
I
and a stick.
actually have a
And a
lot
s-
of. Well, I
yeah.
mean, yeah.
I tie a
A
rope
lot of
around
rope.
your wrist and put it onto my wrist.
Okay.
Oh,
No.
and I'm also in the midst of all this. I'm gonna go get my rope with the ladder on it.
Okay. It's right where you left it, tied to the
Don't forget to use your
the thing
Bible
in the tower. The rope around your wrist feels like it's made out of fire ants,
Oh dear.
What?
or maybe even covered with fire ants.
That's very unfortunate for you.
Yeah, you might want to just not use the rope. Hurry, hurry.
What's wrong with
No, I
that?
did take
Fine,
it off.
fine,
Wrap it around
Ah. Very
What's wrong with it?
tasty.
It's just a rope.
It's an elven rope, sorry.
Oh.
Stupid elves.
All right, so
No, really.
over the next half hour or so, you see this. Well, I started to say once vibrant camp, but it's not really. It's
Once-
never been vibrant. But you see this camp start to come apart and get packed up. Soldiers wrapping tents up and throwing them in bags, in packs on their back. The command tent comes down fairly early and gets packed into one of the travel cases that goes up onto the back of Swamp. There are a couple of chests that come out of the medical tents that you assume are filled with medical supplies. The sick come out after them, most of them on litters being carried by 2 or more soldiers. The tents are not far behind. Sister Sias is making short work of making sure that the sick are being tended to.
Goodness, there are a lot of footsteps.
There are a lot of footsteps. The entire complement of the camp is almost 60 people. And they're all in a hurry to catch up to their commander, who is out of sight at this point.
Oh, he's dead.
Oh, he did.
Oh,
He's so
yeah.
Firebeard, actually early on in the process, Firebeard had enough wherewithal to send a group of scouts after him to make sure that they knew where
We're going on an
was.
adventure.
Once I've got the paper written down, I'll make sure to find him and give it to him and let him know that the Triceratops is named Swamp.
Why not? Thank you. I'm
Away.
gonna get back to work now. And he goes back to his business.
That worked.
Good job, Dad.
I lead him to the boat.
Okay. So you'll sit him in the boat.
Yes. Elijah, sit here. Don't do anything. Don't move.
Okay.
I take a nap.
All right.
Don't jump. Don't
Have a
stand
nap.
up. Don't do anything.
Okay. So you're sitting in the canoes,
Oh no.
and the rest of you are striking camp. Right before you drift off, you swear you feel the canoe sort of rock and slip out into the river.
Okay.
Oh god.
The rest of you
Don't
see the
do
canoe
anything.
rock and slip out into the river.
Oh, you really did go. Oh no.
I'm on it.
We're determined to kill boys.
You are determined.
They're just having fun with it.
I know.
Here, grab the rope.
He's like, where's the rope?
I don't hear you. That is a 7.
Let's see. What can I do here?
Get all the canoes and start paddling.
Unseen
Wait.
servant.
Oh, I'm going the wrong way.
Unseen servant. There we go.
I'm going
Unseen servant is
north.
paddling back to shore.
Okay.
Oh,
So you hear from the back of the canoe one of the oars lift up off the seat and dip into the water and start paddling, and you feel the canoe
Oh, we're on our
turn
way.
itself and start heading back the direction it had been floating.
We're on our way.
Good man, Pyre. Good man.
I jump in the water after
Well, we
him,
need the
going
canoe.
towards the boat.
Yeah, I mean.
Meyer, make a perception check, please.
Oh dear. Oh my gosh. You just like jumped into crocodile-infested waters
How
or
did
something
the boat
like
get
that.
untied?
It wasn't tied. We just pulled it up.
17.
17? Luckily, you see it before the crocodile's jaws
Oh,
clamp
my
down where your leg
gosh.
would have been. And let's have initiative.
Oh,
Just me?
you get to
Everybody.
crocodile wrestle.
Oh, I got a nat 20.
Natural 20. Nice.
Natural 20.
I'm just
12.
gonna not.
12.
12? Okay.
Because there's no reason why I would be fighting.
19.
19?
Hey, we can make more water skins.
Yeah. Assuming we don't die.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Us dying, or that we can make more water skins.
Those are both good points. Both good points.
Well,
You know what? I'm gonna roll initiative just for funds.
Oh, no.
19.
Okay.
Else
So,
he did.
My intentions were good.
That I will give you that. Like you're actually not trying to be evil this time. Congratulations, you're slowly learning
So-
what it is to be a good character.
alright.
Although with the elven rope, it's like, here, grab this.
Okay.
18.
18?
Natural 1.
Oh no!
And it
I
continues.
got
Love
a
it.
not 20.
Nice.
Someone had to have it.
Sploof?
Right.
Oh, 19. I
19,
have an idea.
12.
12,
19.
19. Alrighty.
Not
So we will first go to Bright.
Okay.
it's
So I'm
just one little
guessing
crocodile.
I can see the crocodile.
You can
or-
certainly see the splash of water as it leaps out of the water to try and grab a hold of Meyer. So yes, you can see the crocodile.
Okay. I am going to grab my.
A bow.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab my bow.
Okay.
And I will let off a bolt. My short bow.
What turn of events this has become.
Yep.
Did you expect anything else?
13.
Thir-
Just wanted to
13
say
will
it.
hit.
Okay.
Yeah, but you should never go in that water.
And 9. That'll be 9 points.
9 points of damage.
Yep.
Your arrow sinks into one eye.
Nice.
and then as it sort of weighs itself down, the eyeball actually pops out into the river.
Yum.
Well done.
All right. So either Sploof or Elias.
Sploof, you can go first.
Okay, so that's gonna be. I'm gonna use my hand crossbow because I want to save my spells.
Okay.
That's gonna be a 16.
16 will hit.
And crap, what have I done? There we go. So I need a d6.
A D6.
Oh, well, 5.
5 points of damage. Alrighty.
Your daughter was a good shot.
She will be.
So. Well done, sir. Well done. So your crossbow bolt actually goes through the eye socket and into the skull and just sort of hangs out there. The crocodile thrashes and twitches and then sinks into the river, out of sight, and disappears.
Is there just the one?
Make me a perception check.
Oh.
21.
21?
Nice.
It appears to be just the one.
21.
So, 2 shots, the crocodile disappears under the water and just stays down. You're sort of mired, you're just sort of
Treading water.
there, looking around for any sign at all of bubbles or anything, and you don't see it. You don't see anything that would give you any indication where this thing has gone as the canoe paddles past you.
I'm going to mage hand and grab his collar and start pulling him towards shore.
I want to get on the boat.
That works too.
I'll just pull myself on the boat.
Okay, make me a dexterity check.
Yeah.
Oh no,
Yeah.
oh no, return the boat.
Oh. Hey! That's not bad. 14.
14? Okay. So, Elias, you feel the canoe rock to one side. You can sort of, with your hands on the gunnels, you can feel one hand get wet as it dips into the water. And then it rights itself and just sort of rocks back and forth.
Did someone just fall overboard?
I got you. I'm here.
Oh, good.
Oblivious.
So you do see in the back, you see one of the oars is sort of flinging itself from side to side in the water.
Okay, I pick up an oar and I help out.
Between the two of you, between you and the unseen servant, you're able to get the canoe back to shore.
Yay.
And we leave.
Think so.
No.
Unless anyone else has more business.
No.
If you wanted to sack the camp or something.
We're good characters.
Well, I mean, if they leave something behind, they're not going to use it, so.
There are little goblin feet hanging out of stuff already.
Yeah, but we're also dying, so we probably need to get going.
Oh, that's a fair point.
Yeah.
Sploof, make me a perception check.
Oh, it doesn't suck. Except I have a -1. 15.
Meh.
Oh, the goat.
My friend.
Someone grab him?
I've got the goats.
There's now a goat in one of the boats with us.
Food.
Food.
This is my friend Goatly.
Alright.
And away we go.
And away
And
you
Lance
go.
says, once we get moving, I will be mapping the uncharted areas of the map.
Okay. Alrighty, sir. So, I'm assuming, Braden, that you are...
Not navigating. Correct.
Okay, so who is?
I guess I could do that.
I hand you my navigator. I hold out my navigator's tools.
Okay.
Thanks, Elias.
And what sort of pace are you guys wanting to set?
At this point, I think we need to take a normal pace. We're going into uncharted areas.
What was the disadvantage to trying to go fast again?
Well, fast skill lets us go.
Disadvantage.
So fast disadvantage on stealth, and we go 3 hexes.
And perception.
Well, there's a chance to go 3,
Right.
Yeah.
but you automatically will go 2 with a possibility for 3.
Right.
At a normal pace, I think it's a possibility to make 2 instead of just 1.
Well, if we tie him down, we can still go fast.
I don't.
I'm not-
I
We
only
can't
see
really
things.
stealth when we're on the river anyway.
No, if we go at a slow pace, we can stealth,
Yeah.
which was
I know,
like
but-
half
really
a hex
need
to
to
1
stealth,
hex
though?
a day.
I don't think we need to stealth.
I
when
don't
we're
think
on the
we need
river.
to stealth, but we do need to be able to see what's coming up. And
So at least a
that's
normal
perception
pace?
that gets hit.
Yes.
All right, normal
Go
pace it
fast
is then.
pace.
Normal pace, and you do have Azaka helping you?
Gideon also says normal pace.
Yeah, okay. So you do have Azaka helping you, pointing you out. So, do we have our marker there? We do not.
Just a sec.
We're also kind of covered in confetti.
Yeah, we are
Yeah.
also
You're-
kind of covered in confetti.
I have my
Let's
little.
see.
I have my little owl token that we can use.
Okay.
So we're right here on
Um,
Camp Vengeance.
Yes, and you are able to make 2 hexes, please.
Okay, so we go here. Which continue down, over, or over? Which way does? we go?
So the river. I have to actually look this up because.
Alright, standing up so we can
Yeah.
draw. Are we? Do you allow us to draw on your?
You can. You guys can do whatever
Okay.
you feel like you need to
I'm gonna
do.
say yes
I like
then.
this
Okay.
pencil. Yeah.
That's why
Yeah,
it's
pencil.
that's why it's paper.
Okay.
Do
Do you
you
have a
have
pencil?
Actually, let's do the
Oh, that's the wrong
No.
set of papers. That
Do
does
we,
not
do
have
we
my
have the
map,
cam?
so
I
I will
guess-
go to a book instead.
Do we have a map cam for?
Yeah.
I don't actually
Okay.
tonight.
Yeah.
So.
So if you want to know what Cholt looks like, just go online. You can probably find it on. No,
yeah,
actually, don't do
yeah,
that because
careful
spoilers.
with spoilers.
Spoilers.
Don't do that.
I will
Go
have
on previous
the map
vlogs,
cam for our next session,
Yeah.
guys. Sorry about that. I didn't think about putting it up tonight. Okay, so
Does it go straight down or does it curve or what does it do? So we're right here. Does it go? Which? I assume it goes this. Sorry.
So it's going to be straight to the south.
So just.
Right. And as the day goes, guys, the jungles actually start to fall away,
Oh.
and you enter into a marshy area that Azaka informs you is the Aldani Basin.
We have arrived.
Okay.
All right.
Make it here. So right here, correct?
Yes. Let me make sure of what I'm telling you here. 1, 2. All right.
I'm scared. Scared of the unknown.
All right. At the end of the first day traveling out from Camp Vengeance, you are once again back in the wilds, and you are off the map at this point. You have entered the Aldani Basin. Bright,
Yes.
roll me a history check.
11.
11. Okay. You regale your party with tales of the people for whom the area is named.
Okay.
The
That would be the
Aldani.
Aldani, actually. Yes. They're a race of lobster folk that are said to hide in the depths of the jungles in streams and lakes and swamps such as you're passing
So
through.
may I ask my party, who may ask this with the question I may ask of you? What when you say swamp, are we talking like the swamps of Florida, or are you talking like is there solid ground, or is it just reeds poking up everywhere with like water everywhere?
It's very much like the Everglades.
Oh.
It's very much like the
So
Everglades.
there's no dry land anywhere.
Nope.
Oh, camping is going to be hard. Uh-oh. That's not good.
Trees.
Trees.
Trees?
Treehouse.
Trees.
There are not a lot of trees in the basin
Yeah, there
itself.
probably isn't. Not in the basin, at least.
How long does your rope trick last, and how many of us can sleep in there?
1 hour.
Oh.
Not everyone.
So,
I
canoes?
suppose we could take turns and keep moving.
True, we could keep moving during the
Like
night
shifts.
Yeah.
That's not a bad idea.
and just sleep in canoes.
Well, we have to have 3 awake at any given time then. One
Yeah.
for each canoe.
Yes.
True. But
I
we
mean,
have
if we're
we
sleeping
have the
in
numbers
shifts,
for it, so
Then we should all be able to get enough rest.
Yeah.
which would make travel a lot more faster as well. So
I'm all for that.
yeah.
All right.
I say dark
Day one
vision
ends.
people, obviously with nighttime shifts.
Yeah.
If I may, and this is the voice of Azaka.
Oh.
While we are in these open swamp areas, it would not be amiss if we were to lash the canoes together so as to not get lost.
Abreast or train?
I would say abreast.
Okay.
And she sort of snickers a little bit at you.
Because even the party members that are NPCs are 12.
Of course.
Well, yeah.
Of course.
I guess we
admiration
lash
for
the. I assume the party lashes the boats together.
Yes.
Yes.
I can't see, so.
Right.
Relax, hold his rope. Oh wait, wrong one, just burning.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Yeah. So it's actually fairly steamy, fairly warm all the time at this point. It's I mean
Right.
it's a swamp in the
Right.
middle of the jungle. And I will take from everybody except for you,
Of course.
a perception check, please.
Can I do a listening perception check?
Not for this.
Okay.
2?
2?
Nope.
11.
11. Water everywhere. Oh my God, what am I doing on this
Yeah,
boat?
right? Pretty important.
Wait,
14?
a cat.
Wait, what?
You think you might see something like way off in the hazy distance, but it's real hard to make out.
14.
14, same for you.
12.
Okay. No worries. What I will take from you, Monsieur Elias, is a constitution check.
That we've all developed a lisp.
Only when we say his name.
All they want
Yeah,
to say
only
is
when
name.
That's why you never listen to
But yes.
I'm just doing it blind. Natural 20!
Oh,
Okay. Good for you.
Oh!
we don't have to throw him overboard.
Oh!
Oh, be
I
still
live to
our
fight
hearts.
another day! Oh, happy day!
Unfortunately, how do you tell?
Oh, I don't.
Just saying.
I'm blindfolded. Oh no.
You're blindfolded, and
I will.
yeah. All right.
I rarely roll just as a side note to those watching, I rarely roll natural 20s. So this is very, very exciting. And I did that blind.
Well done.
Oh.
Very well done.
The
Maybe
dice
it's 'cause you
gods
did
were
it
with
blind.
you. Yes, yes.
Maybe so.
I
All right. So,
will never know.
so by the end of the first day, you guys have the canoes sort of lashed together in a way that it's easy to handle, and someone among you, and I don't care who, gets the bright idea to sling bedrolls from the
Hammock style.
hammock style from the outriggers
probably me.
that you're
I already have a hammock.
using to lash
We all-
everything together.
Do we also have like the ring? Do we have 1 or 2 ring catchers?
2.
Okay. So like 2 ring catchers. It kind of looks like a steamboat at this point. There's 2 giant stacks and whatever.
Yeah. So
That's
so you
cool.
guys are making your way through the Aldani Basin. At some point, Elias, you realize that you haven't really had a hallucination in a few hours.
Okay.
Whatever you want to do with that information. But for the next day, mark
We
off
have
another
a-
hit point.
Do we? Oh, we got a rest. Okay.
Yeah.
We are down to day 16
It is
of the
day
death
16 of the death curse.
Curse. What's everyone
And
looking at?
who is doing your who's doing the navigating?
Can I see if my vision has returned and I have kicked the mad
visions
monkey's
have
disease?
So so you find yourself in a swamp with canoes lashed
I give it
together.
like a minute or 2.
Does anybody notice he's taken his headband off?
Everyone who's interested, make a perception check.
2 again. Okay, this time you're fired.
Natural 20.
19.
Waste on the roll.
8.
8,
2.
2. So the 2 of you notice.
Okay.
The moment he takes his blindfold off, I scream,
No!
and just point directionless out into the swamp.
You're a terrible human being.
I don't have an inspiration to give you, but I would.
What does that mean?
He's trying to mess with you.
So
He's right.
Pyre is screaming
Yeah,
no and pointing out over your shoulder.
Do I see anything?
Turn and look. Make a perception check.
I know.
You're a terrible
15?
human.
15. You see nothing but swamp that direction.
Okay.
What the hell, Pyre?
I'm just waiting for a reaction.
What?
Nothing? Nothing.
When did we get to a swamp?
We're not in a swamp.
Oh, we are in a swamp.
Oh, okay.
I glare at Pyre.
I can't see the wood through the trees. There are none.
You
Puns.
you feeling okay, Elias?
I think I think so. I don't see any illusions or anything like that. So I think I'm okay.
Congratulations and welcome back, friend.
Yeah.
Just stay sitting, whatever you do. Whatever
Okay.
you may see, stay sitting.
No,
Okay.
you don't have to
Just
eat
Do I have my navigator's tools?
Pyre, it's fine.
And you wanted to leave them.
I'm the only one that can do damage, my friend.
Just
Do damage to all of us.
I can track the undead.
So following Azaka's guidance, you are able to move yourself. Let me see.
that's like we're just going on blind faith.
This 5 minutes, you're not seeing things. Congratulations!
Karen,
Let's see
now
what
you can guide
happens.
us again. Cool.
Cool.
All right, so
Story.
following her guidance,
Okay.
move 1 hex south and then 1 hex to the southwest.
So
So you should be about
right here.
You should be about 2 hexes from Imbala.
So right here. So it curves this way.
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, what you've done is you've entered sort of a wide marshy area, so you're not in a river so much as you are a broad.
No, I'm just
floodplain.
marking.
But yeah,
I'm liking the path we take.
Yeah. By the way, just so you know, that was a natural 20 on your navigating, so you know exactly where you are.
Nicely done.
Nice.
Without a doubt, you know exactly where you are.
We know that we know where we are. And is that another day then?
Yes, that is another day.
Day 17.
Oh, we're like.
We're cruising
At the
it now.
end of that day,
So it's 2 days.
Azaka does actually guide you to the first patch of dry land you've seen in a couple days.
Yeah.
And you're able to actually camp there overnight. I'm going to say, just for the sake of brevity, that we're going to call it there.
Okay.
We will pick back up next week with our, hopefully, a little bit more fleshed out party with you guys. The other good news for you is that you have gained a level.
Yay!
One crocodile.
I get 2 attacks!
It took a little more than that.
I don't know how to.
There were
Level 5 is
crocodiles,
yay.
there were
There were
triceratops.
That means proficiency
There was
bonus goes to
there
3.
was things.
Yes.
Oh,
Are we
okay.
gonna set watches?
I would
Or do I do
assume.
that when we come back?
Yeah, I would assume that you guys would. We'll pick up the next morning because the night that you guys camp on dry land is relatively uneventful.
Okay. I mean, there is a conversation that Pyre really wants to have with
Okay.
Meyer and Gideon on watch. So
Okay, we will pick up and we can do that next time.
okay.
For the last time, he has clothes on.
And I get another blood curse. Yes!
All right.
Alright, guys. Thank you guys for coming and watching. We appreciate that. And again, another fond congratulations are in order for,
Yes.
for
Yes.
our lovelies who are having our mini nerd in the near future. I do like the idea of doing a D&D shower for
Yes,
you guys
we
and
do.
having all of the stuff be nerd stuff.
Yes.
So we're probably
Yes.
like, if we do that, we might have to stream it. We'll see. But we appreciate you. We stream Tuesday nights from 5:30 Mountain Time till
Anywhere from 7:30 to 8:30,
Yes.
depending. It sort of depends on schedules and what everybody's got availability wise.
yeah.
We are also in the process of trying very, very hard to get the channel built up to the point where we can hit affiliate. That would be
Yes.
awesome. It's not why we're doing the streams, but it would be a nice goal for the stream if we could hit those. We enjoy playing D&D. We're going to play D&D regardless, but if we hit affiliate, we can start doing some things to maybe make it easier for you guys to follow along with us and have fun with us. And we enjoy just having you along to egg us on, and we're hoping to build this up to something really, really cool.
You can check out past episodes on YouTube.
Do check out our past episodes on YouTube. Just do a search for Casual Cactus. That is casual with a C, cactus with a K. All of our episodes are up there. This episode will be uploaded and should go live on Sunday. We do try and make that our regular schedule. We are trying to very hard get back into our regular schedule now that the long period of stupid at my work and the holidays are behind us. So we're going to be we're going to be picking this up and rolling with it hopefully every week about this same time. Anybody else for the good of the order? Anything to add? Anything I
We're
haven't?
good.
No?
Here.
All right. In that case, I'm going to wish you a fond farewell this evening. Do keep your blunt instruments handy. We'll be breaking glass with you very soon. Have a good time. Good night.
Bye.